Welcome to the Windy City Bender Podcast with your hosts, Nolly, Poetzy, and Jarom.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Windy City Bender Podcast. My name is Poetzy, along with Nolly.
Yo.
And Jarom.
What's up?
Thank you, everybody, first of all, for all the nice words and comments and everything like that from our first episode. It was kind of crazy to see how many people actually listened.
Yeah, thanks, Mom and Dad and Grandma. It was great.
Okay, so my friends listened.
No, but for real, it was awesome seeing a good amount of people listen and give feedback as quick as they did, too. So thank you a lot for everybody.
And not calling us stupid.
Yeah.
Got quite a bit to talk about today. A lot has happened in the past 5 days or so since we last recorded. So we are going to start out with the big news out of Chicago. Scott Darling off to Carolina for a third-round pick, thus saving Corey Crowford as our number one question mark? Question mark?
Bowman must have been listening to our podcast.
Yeah, you know.
Knew he wanted to, make us not worry about it.
What did I say? My friends listen.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep. Den helped you out on that one.
So
before we get to is Crow safe?
Right.
We do the question. What was your reaction to it?
I was a little surprised at how quickly it happened.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it was going to happen so soon. I thought it was going to be one of the off-season things. But I guess it's kind of nice to see that they're not waiting for anything. They're just going straight for it. We're making moves now. We're making changes now. We don't want to wait. So
yeah.
I kind of like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I did not expect them to make it as quick as before the playoffs are even over. Like, you're in the second round, and they're like, fuck, we got to change it up now. And they're sticking to their word, which is cool, but makes you nervous on who else might go. But
yeah.
See, I didn't like it at first. But then I thought about it, seeing the third overall. I was like, okay, third overall for basically a goalie we're probably going to lose anyways.
But that kind of made me mad. It's a third overall for somebody who's going to be their starting goaltender.
Yeah, but he hasn't proven himself.
I know he hasn't proved
goalie.
himself yet, but he is going to be their starting goaltender, and all we got out of that was a third rounder.
Yeah, but
I want to touch on that in a second. About is he really going to be the starting goalie? There's
no way that.
Do you want to get into that now, or do you want to?
We'll go back to it.
Okay, we'll go back to that. All right. So, but the third overall pick, third round pick is gonna probably be around the 74th overall pick in that area, which I think for a goalie that truly hasn't established himself as a starter, who was gonna walk, 90% chance he was gonna walk anyways. I mean, that was probably I think that was a great move. I think it was totally worth it.
And you know what? I think I read something on Twitter that I really didn't think of. I know we kind of touched on it, too, in our podcast, which makes me feel really stupid. We talked about how much money Darling is going to make next year. And we said it was going to be around 3 or 4. That's only $2 million less than what Corey Crowford is making. So, like, what is...
You get a third rounder and you're saving $2 million.
Truly, what is the difference there between Crow and Darling? I mean, it'd just be easier to fend off Darling, you know?
When we heard about the trade, though, me and you were kind of joking around saying, what if the Hawks pull a fast one? They move Darling, because he's still technically a UFA. Carolina hasn't signed him. What if he waits it out, goes to free agency, doesn't sign with Carolina,
signs
back with the Hawks, and Hawks trade Crow.
Mike Richter did it.
Free up cap space and get a third rounder out of Darling. And they trade Crow for something.
I mean, that's a chance you got to take. I mean, any team that's trading for the rights to a player, that's
a ballsy move. Yeah. But
we entertained that idea, and we also entertained the idea of Crow getting sent away as well, didn't we?
And
Darling just being like, nah, I think I'll stay in Carolina.
But now, with that being moved, like him being moved, do you think, I think Crow is still on the block. I think they can move him and go hunting in the free agency and get somebody a little bit cheaper.
Oh boy, but it's such a rough goaltending free agency this year. I mean, ew. Just Ew.
I feel like that was them showing Crow that they have faith in him and not to worry about anything. But now they do have time to go out and find the backup in a poor goalie free agency where they can get a cheap guy that'll be able to play a handful of games here throughout the season, like Curtis McElhinney.
Yeah, that was literally, as I was looking through the list, Curtis McElhinney was the only guy that kind of popped out to me, and I was like, all right, he could probably be a pretty decent one.
Yeah, he looked good with Toronto as backup for Freddie, and I mean, on Toronto,
and then he was outstanding with Columbus as well behind Bobrovsky,
mm-hmm.
and he didn't see too much time.
But he was good when he did play. Which is going to be what he'll
Came
be
up-
behind Crow. So
Came up big at the end there.
Crow usually plays around 55 games every year.
Darling's been playing 20.
Yeah, he hardly ever
a little over
eclipses
20.
that,
yeah.
So all the more reason for McElhinney to play well.
And I'm sure he'd sign for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Keep that cap low. Hopefully.
Yeah, right now he's making $800,000. Curtis McElhinney.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's right around the Hawks.
He'd probably be like $1 million. Probably sign him
2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, for 2 years? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mill for 2 years. That'd be great.
So then, let's move on to the Carolina situation with it. One of my first thoughts was, are they doing this because they need to expose a goalie? Ward has got a limited no trade clause. Still don't have any answers on if the limited no trade clause is included in being protected in the draft or not. Still haven't found that out. Still researching that. But
I think because he can put a list of 15 teams he'll allow.
Yeah.
So I think if Vegas on that team, they can open it up.
That's what I would. Yeah, that's what I assume. So that's why I kind of go by the assumption. But so, do you think they're ready just to walk away from Ward and they're just going for Darling, or are they gonna sign Darling cheap, exposing him? He doesn't get picked. They got a cheap option there, and then they can look to move.
I don't see Darling wanting to sign cheap though.
No,
because he's said he's ready to take that role. He's paid his dues, which he has.
Not like Scott Darling is that guy to be like, oh, you're only going to give me $3.5 million.
No,
I feel that. I don't think he's that guy, but I think he wants to make it a point that he's not screwing around. This year. He wants to be the number one.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something with this whole trade that
something
management and Darling knows that nobody else. It just doesn't feel like this is. Oh, straight up, okay, Darling, you're the new goalie in Carolina.
Yeah.
I just don't, for some reason, see Darling playing in Carolina next year.
Ward and Lack both have 1 year left on the contract. Ward has a $3.3 mil cap hit, and he's 33 years old. And Lack has a $2.75 mil cap hit, and he's 29. And the coach has come out and said that he's not the biggest fan of Lack, and he doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
There's been multiple videos of him interviewing about Lack and not liking him. So it's like,
that was kind of out of line.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Lack, that poor guy had 3 concussions in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And also, look at how the Hurricanes were playing in front of him at that point.
Oh, yeah.
They were just awful.
Yeah, but going back to them, who would you get rid of to back up Darling? You're either going to have 3.3 mil as a backup with a 33-year-old for 1 more year, or 2.75 to a 29-year-old for 1 more year. So, it's...
No matter what, I feel like somebody's getting pissed. It's either going to be Darling because he's playing a 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is only in the case of if Cam Ward stays.
Yeah, but
I think regardless, whoever stays, I think...
No, I don't think so, because I think Eddie Lack, at this point, is kind of like, all right, I'm...
ready to go.
I'm probably a backup right now. For the past 2 years that he's been playing, he hasn't been playing a lot of games, and he's been hurt a lot.
Even in Vancouver when he was up there, yeah.
Well, he took over for Luongo.
Yeah, but he was the backup role there for a long time.
After that, it was...
Schneider came in, right?
Not much game.
Or not Schneider.
Miller.
Yeah.
Miller and Markstrom.
Yeah.
Guy from the AHL came up and took it out of his hands.
But then, trying to get rid of him, how do you... who's going to take Cam Ward? He's 33, and he had the one good year,
But he had a pretty decent good. That's what I said today. He had a pretty decent year this year. A team that had quite a few rookies on it and not much help on the back end other than
Justin Falk.
Justin Falk and Noah Hannafin.
Yeah,
Falk,
Noah Hannafin.
Falk was like a minus
Let me pull up his stats real
a
quick.
million. Falk is just a power play specialist. I don't even think he's that good of a defenseman.
Cam Ward started 61 games, 126, lost 22, 12 or overtime or shootout, 162 goals against with a .905 save percentage and a 2.69 goals against average with 2 shutouts. I mean, that's for a Carolina team. That's not bad.
It's not
Yeah, it's not
terrible.
too bad.
Yeah.
Going back to their cap, when I was looking, or their cap hits, when I was looking it up, I saw that they have 2 guys on their buyout cap hits, and one of them is Alexander Salmon.
Jesus.
And he's getting 2.3 mil for the next 4 years still from them.
Oh my god!
And I completely forgot that he was even relevant. Well, I mean, he's not relevant, but the money is for them. So I just wanted to say that.
Can I go back to what you said about Eddie Lack, like pretty much accepting a backup role?
Yep.
What would you guys, as I was thinking, take as Lack as a backup to Crow?
Down to 2.75.
But I'm saying
Yeah.
if Carolina can retain some salary,
I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be
I
bad.
wouldn't. But you know what? If that was the case, then
They would, yeah.
why not just trade for that in the Darling trade?
Mm-hmm.
why would you trade a goalie for a goalie you're not sure that's under contract for a goalie that you're not sure you're going to be able to sign? That's my thinking with that too. I think they wanted that's also think there might be a discussion there with the goalie
See,
too.
that shit would have worked out in NHL 17. Well, I'm looking right now at the Canes depth chart. Michael Layton is also.
I was just gonna say.
They're in their He's in
a
their minor
UFA though
leagues.
too.
Yeah, his deal went up this year.
Yeah.
They had 5 different goalies plus Lack only played 2 games for the AHL team, and some 21-year-old Alex Nedeljkovic, whatever that is. He played the most of it.
Wow, he's American.
Is he really?
I'm looking at it right now. Ohio.
Yeah.
Nedeljkovic.
Yeah. His parents came from the
I
boat from
wanna
Russia,
see-
I'm sure.
I want to see that.
But yeah, he played 25 games. He played the most, and he had a 340 goals against and an 881 save percentage. So that's, I don't know if you want that backing up. Give him a couple more years.
Yeah, probably a bit too soon.
Yeah, I would think so. But that's why we're a Hawks podcast and not a Carolina Hurricanes podcast. Because we don't know what the hell's going on down there, and we don't care that much.
Yeah.
Apparently we do a little, but not that much.
Does it worry either of you that we just? I obviously got the third-round pick, but we just gave up Darling in this weak goalie market, and with our system that doesn't really have goalies that you think we can step up to that role. I mean, are you worried at all about that backup position going into the season at this point? I know it's going to change but I mean, at this point right now, with the new season will start tomorrow.
Well, if it were to start tomorrow and we had the same team that we have right now,
yeah,
I would be very concerned.
Crow, you're playing 82, bud.
Yeah,
but I mean,
and
but
you
like,
can't
no,
get
but like,
hurt.
Yeah.
are you I guess I should rephrase it. Like, are you concerned that
They
there's
won't make a
going to be
move?
somebody out there that we can get that can justify being on this what's supposed to be an elite team?
Mm.
I think the backup we get is going to depend on the moves that we make on the back end.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna
How much cap space we could free up?
exactly. I think as
What
soon
kind of
as
young
we see
talent we
which
bring in.
defenseman goes, who's gone in the expansion draft.
Mhm.
I think after we figure out that, we get to determine, all right, who could we possibly go after for a solid defenseman that can really help us out in the back end, because Jesus help us all, we need it. And then after
Resign
that,
Rosie again. Come on.
no,
One more cup.
I can't.
One more.
I can't with him anymore.
So you can trade with Vegas about protecting players. Do you think you can trade with Vegas, say, please take players? Like, just take Rosie.
Hey, come on! I'll give you
It'll
the
be-
last round pick.
It'll be like Kurt Maltby getting traded for a bag of pucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that trade, both by the timing and by what we got.
Yeah,
in it.
because I remember sitting there and getting the alert from the app, Blackhawks trade, and just like, wow, I just literally sat for about 20 minutes the last podcast talking about how Crawford's going to be gone and Darling's going to be here.
Well, we're not experts.
Why we don't get
so.
paid the big bucks to do this.
That's why we don't get paid at all.
All right, draft lottery happened on
Yes, it did.
Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday.
What the shit?
What? I literally have it written down in my notes. What the hell?
That's close.
What the hell?
I
What?
mean-
What?
I mean, that's what they wanted, though.
Did you guys see the close-up of Joe Sakic?
Oh God,
He
No,
looked
I
like
didn't.
he looked like he aged 20 years from the time that he sat down to do the draft lottery to the point to where he found out that he was picking fourth.
Complete opposite of Shanahan last year.
Oh my God.
Austin Matthews.
He looked like he aged 20 years. I felt bad for him, to be honest with you, because Colorado got screwed, Arizona got screwed, Buffalo got screwed.
But Colorado, big time. I mean, they had the least amount of points since the salary cap era.
How
They
do
had
you
48 points. The next worst was the 13-14 Sabres with 52. And they were a minus 112 this year. That's the worst since the 14-15 Sabres, who was a minus 13.
How do you not
Or
get
113.
How do you not get the number one?
Just get the whole team, the green jacket on that one.
yeah. You got a team green jacket there.
Wait, I'm looking at the odds right now. 18% chance for them for the first. New Jersey.
That went down because of Vegas. It was supposed to be 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Jersey, 8.5% chance for number one. Philadelphia, 2.2. Dallas, 5.8. And all three of them in one of the three drawings grabbed the first overall. Yeah, let's talk about that too. What is your opinion on the new way they do this with the three separate drawings?
It's kind of... I don't understand why they
I'm
don't just
still
do
kind
it.
of confused by it.
Yeah.
It's maybe I'm just simple-minded or whatever, but like I don't get it. Listening to what Bill Daly was saying, Bill Daly is the guy that holds up the cart. I'm looking at the microphone.
Okay.
I'm looking at the microphone like there's a camera there, and I'm like, hello.
Here's the card.
He said, given the strength of the expansion draft rules and the fact that Vegas should have a good team, this was the right balance. 3 draws is reflective of how close each team is and how competitive the league is. Go ahead and you tell that to the Colorado Avalanche. You go ahead and tell them how everybody is super close and super competitive.
Yeah, that's...
Granted, Colorado beat our ass a couple of times this year, but
it's... Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Or 2. 3 maybe.
I mean, I understand the reason behind it, and it's trying to force teams to not tank at the end of the year to get first. But when you're tanking all year, and you have no chance, like, it's halfway through the season, they're like, all right, well, let's take an L this year.
Yeah.
Like,
What was he talking about? How close? Yeah, I can see it from all the other teams.
except for Colorado.
Vancouver was second to last.
Eastern Conference, that works in the Eastern Conference for sure. That was a log jam up until the very last day of the year, but the Western Conference is completely different.
21 points separated 29th and 30th. 21 points. Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
How is that considered like...
That's absurd.
Oh my God. Like, I don't know how, like, anybody on Colorado can probably say they're NHL players after that season. I'm sorry. Like,
New Jersey, who got the number 1, has 22 more points than Colorado. 22.
And Taylor Hall.
And Taylor Hall.
God, how
Lottery draft. The
How
lottery
freaking
draft
funny.
winner.
Oh my God, he's great. I feel like I was looking on his Twitter. He doesn't tweet that often. He should start.
Oh,
Ripping
the
those
handful
things
of
off.
times he does, they're
it's
gems.
gold.
Oh my
They're
God.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't see the tweet, he had tweeted after New Jersey won the first overall pick. He said, officially adding, quote, NHL lottery ball specialist to my hockey resume, which is amazing.
Yeah, he's got some special balls over there.
He's
that
got
was like...
huge balls over there.
After the initial shock of seeing New Jersey climb up all the
Yeah.
way, I was like...
And then seeing that.
I was just like, holy crap, Taylor Hall's on the team. Taylor Hall's the answer. Everybody's blaming the Edmonton Oilers for fixing it. No, it's Taylor Hall.
It's Taylor Hall fixing it.
Could you guys imagine? I was thinking of this a couple days ago. Could you imagine if this happened when in the McDavid draft 2015?
Oh.
if Edmonton did not get that.
Edmonton would have
Number
been up
one.
in flames.
Oh my God! And
Yeah.
like it didn't go to Edmonton; it went to like I don't know.
Buffalo.
But yeah. Oh Jesus! Oh.
They wouldn't have been settled with a number 2 in Eichel.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, I mean that was. I don't know. I guess it's lucky that it's a pretty soft draft this year.
Yeah.
So,
We also like talk about like how like the entire like watching that whole thing, I just felt like nobody cared because there wasn't an Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid in there. They just kind of very felt like
It's just the. Okay,
I mean, how can you?
Here's our draft.
How do you
every
feel to be
year,
like
but-
Nolan Patrick,
yeah.
and then just be like watching every year? Oh, they've interviewed Matthews, Line A, Eichel, McDavid, and they don't even talk to a single one.
I know.
Like,
so we were playing around with the idea that maybe does New Jersey trade this pick off?
I would say no. I feel like they need to go full rebuild mode. Like they need this. Like they need something because
But really
Nolan Patrick is a center, and like I've been reading up a little bit on him, and they say he's a big boy. He's got some speed. He's got some skill, and he could be like a big franchise player. And he's got friends on New Jersey already, and they're big time center.
So
right?
basically, it would just be super shitty if New Jersey.
Yeah.
he missed a
Well,
lot of games.
sorry.
But
this year,
he was hurt a lot last
but he
year.
was still over a point per game player.
Yeah,
which
and
is pretty impressive.
New Jersey's only big centerman right now is Adam Henrique. That's like their number 1 center, and that's it.
Pretty unfortunate.
And obviously, looking at the teams, like you need center depth to win at all.
Well, we made the comment too in the last podcast. We're like talking about New Jersey, and we're like Taylor Hall, Henrique, Schneider, and then we're like, oh, who else is on the team? So I think actually for this kind of like this draft with it being weaker, that this is probably the best. I think this is probably a good team to get it. That they can get a player that's not going to be a franchise player like a McDavid or an Austin Matthews, but is going to be enough attention to the team to kind of make them a little bit more relevant again.
Yeah. The top 6 projected for this draft are also all centers.
Yeah.
The top 6 are all centers.
Yeah.
Which I was looking at.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. It just shows that people need centers. Like,
Well, I
that's
wonder-
such a big part of the game now.
I wonder how versatile those guys are too. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe could they be switched off to a wing role?
Most guys that start in the NHL start out at wing and then gradually get moved to center. I mean, unless you're like a first overall McDavid type guy. But when they already have centermen, they kind of wean them into a center.
It's easier to go from center to
wing.
wing than it is to go wing to center, I feel.
Yeah.
That was unintended, but yeah. But yeah, I mean,
So we also talked about Colorado losing this draft lottery, which they did. They lost. But I want to argue that Vegas lost this draft lottery too, dropping down to 6. The reason why I was reading an article on Pro Hockey Talk, the NBC app.
Yeah.
And there's a writer, he pointed out that since the expansion era with the lottery involved, he went back to the past 10 teams, expansion teams.
right.
So here, before they did the lottery, here's what the expansion: 91 Sharks, they drafted 2nd overall. 92 Lightning, 1st overall. 92 Senators, 2nd overall. Ducks, 93 4th overall. 93 Panthers, 5th overall. Then you look into the lottery era: 98 Predators, 2nd overall. Thrashers, a 99 1st overall. Wild, 3rd overall in 2000. Blue Jackets 4th overall in 2000, and Vegas 17th in 2017 6th overall. It's hard to build a new franchise. You know, usually the draft is this moment for them to get their young player that, hey, we're a new team, we got this awesome young guy. It's hard to find that person 6th overall, especially in a weak class this year. Some notable 6th overall picks: Hartnell, Upshaw, Montoya, Kachuk, and OEL. Out of that list, OEL is the only one you can really make an argument that he's a franchise player at the moment. I think Kachuk will be able to say that maybe down the line, but
But I feel like looking back at some of the weaker drafts, like the Yakupov year and the Nugent Hopkins year, the top guys aren't even that big, like Nugent Hopkins and Yakupov. But like later on, the big guys that came out of those drafts came later on that got overlooked because it was such a weak draft. Anybody could come up and be just as good.
Which brings on to my thing. I was looking at a couple mock drafts, and one was projected since overall. It was Owen Tibbett. In 60 games this year, he's got 44 goals, 31 assists, 75 points. And the moment my opinion changed about Vegas losing this draft lottery was the moment I read the line. He's already being compared to Phil Kessel.
You win.
If they get a Phil Kessel, they win.
Vegas, you win.
But, I mean, I guess...
He's going to sign and drop some ketchup on the contract.
I mean, I guess if you're going to be an expansion team and you're not going to get a top pick, this might as well be the year to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
definitely. I mean, looking at it, you can't really say Vegas lost more than Colorado. Because,
oh, no, definitely not.
Because, I mean, Vegas, they get to pick their team basically with the draft.
And it's going to be
expansion draft.
Yeah, and the talent in the NHL now is
there's third and fourth
way
line
better
guys
than it
that,
was in 2000 for the last expansion draft.
Right.
And it's only one team this time, too.
And Colorado, I mean, they already have some superstar players like Landeskog, McKinnon, and Duchesne. But they just... And Tyson Barrie.
But who of those people are going to be on the team come September? That's another thing. I don't think many of those players will come back. But
they said anybody's up for grabs besides McKinnon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
I think the reaction to Vegas dropping down 3 spots would have been a lot bigger if there was that Austin Matthews McDavid.
Or if Colorado got that first
or second. I mean, if Colorado was second.
If Colorado got first and Vegas dropped that much, everybody would be like, well, what happened with Vegas?
Yeah.
Like, what's
I think in a perfect world, it would have been Vegas 1 or 2, Colorado 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were hoping for.
Yeah, but fuck you guys.
I mean,
I'm surprised the Hawks didn't get it. That would have been sweet, huh?
Jesus, could you imagine?
Trade for Taylor Hall. Let's get that number 1 pick next year.
Oh, my God.
We get swept in the first round, so they just felt pity for us. They put us in the lottery.
Yeah. Oh, man, they're having a rough time, man. They need a first overall.
Give us 1% chance to get that first overall pick.
We'll win.
We'll take it.
As long as Taylor Hall's team's not in it.
Yeah. But yeah, looking at some of the players too up in their prospects this year for the draft. I know we'll probably go more detail closer to the draft.
Right.
But there's no top dog this year. No. I think literally anybody in the projected top 15 can be a solid pick for New Jersey, Philly, anybody in the top 3.
It just kind of goes back to what do you need filled right now.
Right, yeah. And that's why I think besides New Jersey, I can totally see Philly maybe moving their pick. Like they're saying, what I did also hear is Philly is in a great situation. They're on a team that they're like on the cusp. Like they had made the playoffs the year before, right? I believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then they were in the playoff position until down the line.
Last month or so.
They had their core set. So you have a team. Essentially, you have a team that's got their core set, needs minor tweaks.
They need guys that are more consistent, not
and
so
now you get
streaky.
and now you get a second overall pick.
Yeah, when you got Jarom and Skoracek, you're sitting pretty good.
Wayne Simmons.
Oh, and Ghost
Bear.
That first line of Giroux, Shen, and Simmons. Like that's a sick line right there. Like that power play is unreal too. Like, yeah, I didn't even think about Philly moving that pick for somebody or something. A couple extra picks.
I'm sure there's some teams. Philly, they need, I believe, D and possibly a goalie. Maybe not top D, like a back end D, and possibly a goalie.
Mason had a pretty decent year. I mean, it could have been better, but that whole team could have been better. So it's not on Mason.
I mean, on paper, their goaltending is really good, but they're a streaky group.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They get the whole team just streaks the whole time. I mean, hey, we're going streaking in the quad.
Bring your green hat.
Yeah, come on, Snoopaloop.
So,
what you got working over here?
Let's move on a little bit. We'll get to it.
All right.
Let's move on from the draft.
Yeah, fuck me, right?
Talk about stupid ass Mike Milbury.
Okay.
Oh,
there
yeah.
we go.
Come on, man.
What? First off, what happened
Why?
to
What's
that
wrong,
guy?
guys? You don't like him, or?
No, you know what? I do like Mike Milbury. I like how he, I don't know, he
Condescends with.
he's just kind of sitting there with the cattle prod, just like waiting. He really
here's
is.
my moment.
Yeah, he's just waiting for it, and then he sees that tiny little opening, and he just goes for it.
Yeah.
I like him, and he keeps it real too. I mean, what else does
But
he have to
he's
lose?
so-
he was videotaped beating somebody with a shoe.
Yeah.
He's so real,
but then
but
it's
he's
like-
also so dumb when he's like...
Some of the
Holy-
comments, and like when he talks badly about players, it's like you beat somebody with your own shoe.
Yeah, I know.
Like you can't really talk bad about that guy for doing that.
And PK Subban dancing, okay, during warm-ups. Who cares?
Yeah.
His team was undefeated at that point.
Yeah.
I would be dancing too.
No, that was after they
It-
lost.
it-
That was
No, it was
Well,
before.
It was,
Oh,
the
it was
game,
that
it was
game?
the game
Oh,
that they
okay.
lost.
okay.
So Milbury probably went and said, "Oh, it's probably because PK went."
Yeah,
down
they
before
lost
we got
definitely
that."
because PK was just dancing. But I mean,
PK just came off of a 3 or 4 point performance. I mean, give the guy a break. He's just having some fun. He's keeping it light. The playoffs can get too serious too quick.
that's the thing. Like I don't mind it. Like I personally,
mean-
when I was playing, like I'd be cruising around and trying to cruise with my.
So basically,
In warm-ups, though, like, I'd be cruising around, singing, having a good time, bumping into guys, just trying to keep it light, especially in the playoffs in the NHL when you have a good amount of guys that don't have playoff experience, and Subban has a decent amount. You got to show those younger guys that, like, hey, it's just another hockey game, It's you keep it loose, don't think about it too much,
Right.
just have fun out here,
If you watch a Nashville game and you've been able to see warm-ups, he does it all. It's
Oh,
not just
yeah.
a playoff thing.
No.
He's done it all
It's just-
year.
That's just a PK thing, He's just a funny guy, just a loose guy, He just likes to have fun. I saw a video, though, I don't know when it was a day or two after, and they had Milbury and Roenick instead of Milbury and Jones on there on NBCSN, and Roenick asked him to pull up a clip, and it was side-by-side Subban dancing, and when Roenick was dancing on the
Oh
Kings,
my God.
and Roenick was kind of like, hey, Milbury, how do you feel about this, huh? It's fun sometimes. You should try it. And
Jeremy
I was like,
Roenick is
oh my
amazing.
God.
That was mid-game,
That's
too,
hilarious.
wasn't it? That
Oh,
was
yeah.
like during like a ice
Yeah.
cleaning
It was
or something.
Yeah.
a preseason game,
Yeah, but
I
still,
mean,
yeah.
still that
Yeah.
was.
Milbury was like, oh, was that during the playoffs? He's like, no, but it was in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
So, So I thought that was
JR
just
and
great,
PK
though.
have like the same
oh, yeah, absolutely.
style that
yeah.
way, I
Flashy guys all about themselves.
I
Not
really wanted to see what was going to happen yesterday because cameras caught Marc-Andre Fleury before the game, full gear, doing
Oh, yeah.
cartwheels.
I saw that.
You could see down the hall in the towards the Penguins locker room, and he's doing cartwheels in his full gear and like laughing.
Which one? That's good for you. That's impressive.
Good, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And,
I don't
like,
think I could do that without gear on.
Talk about Marc-Andre Fleury being like loosey goosey
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Oh my God, you're doing
coming in out of
cartwheels.
You know
nowhere
what?
when
Yeah.
Murray gets
He
hurt.
probably knows. He's like, you know what? We're on a good pace for the Stanley Cup. I'm probably gone
Let's
from this
ride it
team
out.
at the end of this year.
Just
Let's go.
have
Let's
fun. I wanted to see if Milbury was going to say anything about that, but he never did. So,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think he's going to keep his comments a little bit quiet
I know,
for
he
now.
got-
Maybe
He
around
got
the,
ripped apart pretty good for that.
probably around the
He-
finals. He'll
yeah.
be back to vintage.
He likes to throw something out there and then
Yeah.
kind of wait around for a bit, let it cool down, and then throw another thing out there.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but my favorite Mike Milbury moment, minus the shoe incident, which everybody knows.
How could that not be your
Yeah,
favorite?
which everybody knows, was when Pierre Maguire was actually in the studio with him. It was like they were both. It was a really weird setup, actually. Now that I think about it, because Maguire was in between the benches, but he was also like
Running
in
to the studio.
Yeah, so I think they had like some sort of a setup, like I don't know, somewhere in the basement of the arena or whatever. And there was some sort of controversial hit that happened in the game, and Pierre was talking about how it was illegal and this, that, and the other thing, and all Milbury said to him was, "Stop being a soccer mom, or you're being too big of a soccer mom right now," or something like that. And after that, I've liked him a lot.
That makes
Since
Pierre.
then,
That makes Pierre talking about watching women's soccer the other day is so much better.
Oh,
God.
I can't even
He just
start
can't
talking
even.
about that.
Just
Because
can't
he's
even.
an
Can't
idiot.
even.
Literally can't even. All right, second round has started. About couple 2-3 games in most series.
Yeah, a couple 2-3.
Couple 2-3.
Just a handful, a couple 2-3s.
Let's start with the obvious.
The big one.
The Washington-Pittsburgh series. Washington going down 2-0 at home. First game, pretty decent hockey game. Marc-Andre Fleury still being beast mode. Marc-Andre Fleury.
He's been
unreal.
He is
their Lord and Savior right now. Almost,
I've always.
He's playing for a job.
Yeah,
he really is.
Yeah.
Is it him playing for a job, or is it him just kind of being like, listen, I know that this is it, so I'm just going to go and...
I think it's a little both. It's both.
It is both because he...
There was a point where they zoomed in on him after he made that unreal paddle save in Game 3.
Uh-huh.
And they zoomed in on his face, and, somebody tapped him on the head, and he had this big old smile, and I was like, you are in the middle of a huge game. You're down 1-0. 2 of your guys are done, just conkied out right now, and you're smiling. God bless him.
Yeah, but I mean, he realizes that he has a huge opportunity to win another cup, a third ring for himself, and I feel like he thinks that it's either him or Murray in Pittsburgh, and even if it's Murray, he's trying to play for a job, show that he could still be a starter somewhere else. Vegas? Question mark?
Calgary?
That's one that I've been hearing a lot.
I haven't heard about that one,
I've heard that one a lot, because God knows Brian Elliott's not going to go back.
Do you also think that the way he's playing right now, too, is kind of like I can feel him kind of feeling a little slighted by Pittsburgh, so now he's going to play unreal and just drive that cost up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the side-by-side. I took a long time last night to look at the side-by-side between Holtby and Fleury.
Oh, yeah.
Braden.
Sitting around thinking about goalies, typically.
Of course. Braden Holtby has not been good this series up until Game 3.
Yeah, goalies are useless anyway.
Okay, stop talking. In the 3 games this series, Fleury has posted a 228 goals against and a 932 save percentage.
You said it was Fleury?
Yeah, no, I'm comparing the two.
No, I kind of spaced out for a second.
Yeah, Fleury. Thank you for paying attention.
Yeah.
Holtby is rocking a 317 goals against and an 859 in 3 games.
Ugh.
That's bad.
For a Caps team that's supposed to be running guns, scoring Genos all day.
That's terrible. He let up 3 goals, on 14 shots in Game 2. While Washington was just teeing away on Marc-Andre Fleury at the other end. That is so debilitating.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so debilitating.
Game 3, I know Caps came out with a win, but Kuznetsov could have had 4 goals. He was hitting the post, the Marc-Andre Fleury paddle save, like you said.
Yeah.
There's just nothing was going through for him. And then, he finally got one, but he could have had so many before that. And Washington they were out shooting Pittsburgh. I mean, in the third, it was 13-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, they just could not buy a goal for a while.
I broke down every single goal that Holtby has given up in the playoffs. He's given up 24. 15.
Sounds about right.
I knew you'd like that. 15 of those were on the glove side.
Not 16, huh?
Not 16.
Not 16.
15.
7 on the blocker, 2 in the 5-hole. 4 of them went far side, and 9 of them went near side. He's getting, in the last 3 of the last 4 goals that he's given up against Pittsburgh have been short side from a pretty far range on the glove hand. So he's having some difficulties there. I don't know what's going on with him this playoffs.
I actually saw a tweet earlier. Some context to bring Holtby's struggles in the playoffs. No team has allowed more slot line passes at 5v5 than the Caps in the playoffs.
That was another thing that I wanted to... I was looking at. The 3 goals... 2 of the 3, in the Game 2 were on 2-on-1s. And they came down from the side. And the other one was a breakaway. Matt Cullen had a shorthanded breakaway.
Yeah.
At that.
Goal.
Oh,
Crosby.
Yeah. Poor Crosby.
Poor Crosby. Yeah, we should probably go ahead and talk about that.
No.
Okay. Initial thoughts.
So, wait. Obviously, we know everybody knows what we're talking about, but let's break it down. The Game 3 last night. Last night.
Mm-hmm.
Crosby going hard to the net. Ovi gives him a little whack in the back. Kind of loses his edge trying to get away from running into Holtby. And Matt Niskanen kind of runs into him and gives him a cross check to the head, and Crosby's out. And they announced today that he is out for Game 4 with a concussion, which everybody knows is bad news bears for the Penguins because he's had concussion history.
Do you want to hear that concussion history?
Yes.
Ah, thank God. I wanted to look it up, and I totally forgot about it.
January 1st, 2011, he got that hit in the Winter Classic game.
That was his first
worst
one?
That was the
That
first.
was the worst one, too.
NHL. And then I should clear all these stats that I have are NHL. So
you didn't want to go in depth on midgets and stuff?
Not go that far. So who knows?
People.
Sorry, little
so
people.
who knows if they even have record of it anywhere online. But so that was his first major one in the NHL. But he didn't miss a game with that one. 4 days later, Hedman from Tampa.
Wait a minute. Did you say he didn't miss a game?
He did not miss that
After
game.
it.
After
After
he
it.
did miss it. He came back. So
Okay.
4 days later.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
he
4
was
days
done in
later,
that
he
game.
played that Nets game. Hedman hit him. It was I believe it was a rough hit from behind, or it was just.
It was just a big hit.
Yeah, it was a big hit. He missed the rest of that season. At that point, he played 41 games. So he missed the rest of that season and did not play another NHL game until November 21st, 2011.
Oh, my God. I remember that game, too.
It had the sick
Oh, yeah,
back,
the Islanders.
the awesome
when he
goal
just
against Islanders. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he basically missed a full season.
Yes. Then about 2 weeks later, December 5th, 2011, Krejci elbowed Crosby. He finished that game, but then would not return to a game until March 5th. Now, with that, they said it was a soft tissue injury in his neck, but they credited it was because of the concussion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He was more vulnerable for that. October 2016, he got a concussion in practice. He missed the first 6 regular season games of the season.
That was
This
going
October.
into this
yeah,
year.
so
Yeah,
this
that's
October.
right. So, I mean, he's technically had 3.
Another
This
one
was
this year,
4.
too, I thought.
When I was looking, did not come up.
I believe you.
Let me double check what I was looking at. Yeah. But I mean, that's
Eric Lindros type stuff, you know, like Paul Correa, like one big hit away from ending it completely.
So before the big question that's going to be asked what's some of the initial thoughts of the hit, because we kind of skipped over that word.
Well, Poetzy, you can go ahead. How you felt?
I really think the hit is not the thing that should be the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
I think the focal point should be the Ovechkin slash.
I
The
disagree.
absolute baseball swing.
No, I disagree completely.
I don't know. That was pretty freaking brutal.
No, it wasn't. Watching the replay of it, the slash, it wasn't that bad of a slash, and that game was so chippy.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, everybody was just chipping away. Like, I mean, it was back and forth. Like, everybody was going at it, and Ovechkin should have got a penalty on that, but because of that game, what they were letting through, or what they were letting go throughout that whole game, like, I understand why it wasn't a call. And then, I mean, it threw Crosby off, and I feel like Niskanen didn't intentionally go after Crosby's head. Crosby just, it was just bad timing where Niskanen's not going to pass up on a chance of laying the body on Crosby, the best player in the league, but Crosby ended up sliding and his head became vulnerable, and Niskanen was just a bad place, bad time.
I think why this is so bad is one.
It's Crosby.
No. Take the fact that it's not Crosby right now. One, he was a defenseless player, kind of falling down from the slash, trying to avoid ramming the goalie. Then it's a hit. It's a hit to the head too, which that's the vocal point of the NHL is they want to stop these head hits.
Which, I feel, I understand why he got a 5 in a game, but at the same time, he only had 2. Until Crosby was down for a while.
But I mean, that's typical. They typically give them 2, and then they wait to see what if a player's down and hurt, they start with 2.
But that's that. But a lot of players like Ovechkin in Toronto, he stayed down when he got the kneeing, and then they ended up giving, I forget who it was that I believe it was Kadri actually. They ended up giving him a 4, and Ovi was out there he just walked down the tunnel just trying to get the extra penalty, and it's
he had help going to the bench,
and then walked down
to
the
the tunnel, and then he walked off on his own like there was no big deal.
And then came back a couple minutes later and was skating around fine, throwing his weight around.
He even
it's
said
like,
after the game, he was like, "Yeah, I just went in the locker room and hung out for a little bit until the period was over." Or something
see,
like
that's
that.
why I think it's ridiculous when when like they're like, "Oh, well, let's see, and we'll give him extra if he's hurt." Like, no, that's stupid.
I think there's the difference though between that. I think the reason, first of all, the reason why the Ovechkin penalty was only a double minor instead of a 5,
right?
Was one, it wasn't a hit to the head.
Right. No, yeah, I understand that.
It wasn't hit to the head, and 2, I think of the look of the player. I think as dumb as this is gonna sound,
You could
the
tell somebody's
vibe,
actually
the vibe
in pain,
of the player. Ovechkin, while he was getting help off, he still looked like he might possibly go. Crosby looked like he didn't know where the fuck he was.
Oh yeah,
he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other thing, okay, before I get into my other thing, my question about the hit, was it actually a hit, or is Niskanen just trying to protect himself from getting
That's another thing. He's
rammed in the groin?
Yeah, and I mean he had both hands on his stick.
It's not like
he was turning with both hands on his stick. You're not gonna just drop your stick to protect yourself. You're just gonna he was just trying to stop Crosby.
And that's kind of like the argument Olchek and Pierre had last night. Pierre was how vicious of a hit that was. Olchek was like, well, yeah, when you're looking at it slow mo.
Exactly.
I mean,
damn soccer mom.
Yeah, soccer mom like in slow mo.
I mean, I feel for him just because I've been there with a major concussion, just getting decked. So I feel for it, but at the same time,
it's and that's the thing with like the refs, like they don't get the chance to see slow mos, so like they just see it in the one time basically, and it's full speed. And as a player, like you don't realize that. Like how quick, like you have like less than a second to like react to something like that, and like I don't know.
My biggest issue too is just if they want to cut down head contacts and all this, they need to get a better guideline or rule for what consists of what. I feel there's so much inconsistency in the league. I mean, don't even ignore the fact that it's Crosby. I feel like head hits. It's like a coin flip whether they're going to give 2 or they're going to give 5. Like
yeah.
I kept rewatching the GIF of Crosby going down.
Right.
I kept rewatching it.
And it made it worse, but
it made it worse not so much for his head, but for his leg.
Oh yeah.
His leg buckled super hard, and watching the video, it didn't look like he was having any trouble skating off or anything like that.
No, it didn't. He was putting weight on everything.
Yeah, that was the first thing. Like,
but that looked really nasty. That looked like it could have done some serious damage.
A lot of people I've seen on Twitter, and I think Bob McKenzie was the first one that I really saw pointed out was like, I was like, I'm not so sure it's a head. I was like, if you look at his ankle and his knee, the way
that was what a lot of them were saying. They were pretty concerned about that. But.
So now with it being a concussion, let's ask the big question. And you know the history. We read the history out for you. At what point does he need to say, my health and future, I mean, I guess it would depend on what this penalty or what the severity of this concussion is, but at what point do you need to like kind of say, you know what, I got to think about my well-being with these concussions?
Basically what Lindros did.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean,
he's got to take into the fact that he's 29 years old.
Yeah.
He's only 29 years old. He battled through probably one of the worst concussions in recent histories.
Yeah.
With that very first concussion that he had.
Just by
I feel like he can gauge it. I know concussions, like, it's not like, oh, that was the worst one I'll ever have. It's probably...
Oh, this one will only be 6 months.
Right, like, they're probably getting gradually worse. I've never really had that bad of a concussion before. I've had one or two, but...
The worst thing with concussion is the post-concussion syndrome.
Yeah.
And, I mean, after you've had one, after you get another one, it's just like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Like, you don't ever want it to happen again.
Right. So I feel like he really has to gauge whether or not...
It's only something he could do. Like, nobody else can tell him.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't know. If it's me, like...
I'm playing next game.
Especially playoffs.
He cannot keep me off the ice.
Tasted it in 2013 against Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he actually had a concussion, but he got
He probably don't.
Everybody was
it.
saying it. Yeah.
I don't think
he probably doesn't remember the.
He scored.
I know the goalie scored that later. Yeah.
Probably doesn't remember though.
But hey, we do.
Yeah.
Crosby's got a ring to remind him.
Crosby, not the only Pittsburgh player to get hurt that game.
Yeah.
Connor Sheary gets absolutely torched by his own guy, Patrick Hornquist, and he was leaking pretty good out the nose. He also had a concussion.
Yeah.
So.
It's just laughable how empty the Pittsburgh bench was at some points when they pan onto it.
That was crazy. And it
dropping like flies.
Sullivan had room to literally stand on the bench, not have to go over players to talk to the ref. He's standing on the bench talking to the ref.
Yeah. After Washington had scored Kuznetsov's goal to make it 2-0 in the third, it was
Which
shots.
Was a beauty, by the way.
Oh, God, with those nuts.
That patience. Oh.
And I walked out of the room so I didn't see it.
Pittsburgh had one shot at that point on net. And they didn't have a single shot on goal up until the... Oh, I just lost my mark. Crap.
Come on, Andrew. Put a finger on it.
Up until the 15-minute mark. They got their next shot on goal.
Jesus.
After that, they had 5 on net. 2 of them went in.
Yeah, which, I mean, just...
This Pittsburgh team is good.
They're not only that, but they
good.
got that luck that the Stanley Cup champs always have. I mean, you lose Crosby, the best player in the league, arguably, and Connor Sheary, one of their better young guys, and you still score 2 goals with what it was like 2 minutes or less.
It was like a minute 40 or something.
A minute 53 was the first goal, and then they scored like 48 seconds apart.
Yeah, I mean, and just to send it to overtime. I mean, I was surprised that they didn't win that game. I mean, it came off a power play goal from Washington, but after all that momentum, like,
I thought for sure it was.
I thought so too. Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, oh man! And if they won that game, that series was over. There's no way Washington's coming back from that.
They'll go 6 at the most, but no, that
was.
But
now, looking at it, going in, like, watching that Pittsburgh team, all three games. I mean, I was like, no way, Caps. Like, Penguins are just better. Like, Caps aren't getting luck or bounces. I mean, Washington just doesn't look as good as Pittsburgh, and
I also don't think that Washington has played their best hockey.
No, I don't believe so either.
Or in the playoffs, to be honest with you.
No.
Their D's just no-showing right now. Like,
except for Shattenkirk's overtime winner, but other than that...
But he's been playing garbage
this
playoffs.
Other than that, yeah.
He was at -7, I think, coming into Game 3.
So, now that Crosby and Sheary are for sure out, does that give the Capitals way more hope?
I don't know, because Penguins have been playing down a lot this season.
Yeah.
They've missed a lot of players, key guys, for a long time. And I think when we talked earlier about Fleury playing for a purpose, Malkin's name was in trade talk last offseason.
And
is there another? I mean, it's another player. I know he's not going to probably get traded. But I'm just saying though, it's all about another person going out there and proving like, hey, I belong. You know,
the top 4 point getters in the playoffs right now are all on the Penguins. Malkin has 15 points. Kessel has 12. Crosby has 11, and Jake Gensel has 10.
Where in the world did he come from?
Not Kessel, Gensel.
Gensel. What the hell?
So I mean, he it shows that, I mean, Crosby's up there in that top 4, but without them they could still have scoring, and they showed it obviously when Crosby got hurt. They still scored those 2 goals to tie it.
I mean, Phil and Malkin just
Oh my
God.
They've been looking. Phil has been all over the place, just passing all over, and Malkin's just stepping up when they need him.
I want to read something that I found on Instagram that it just popped in my head, and I was crying. I was laughing so hard. It's kind of long, but it's hilarious. So, Washington, after Game 2, had that players-only meeting, and this is somebody mocking up what they thought was said in that players' meeting after Game 3. It starts out, Nick Backstrom screams in Swedish for 45 minutes. Nick, so how do we beat these guys? Murmur fills the room. Ovechkin stands up. We kill Sid. The entire room stands up in a unison chants, we kill Sid for 2 minutes. Tom Wilson, how do you want me to do it? Backstrom, no, it's too obvious. It needs to be perfectly choreographed and preferably involve 2 of our most important players. Tom Wilson, are you sure? I can just run him from behind when he's down. I can take my skate off. And Matt Niskanen interjects, me, I'll do it. I'll kill Sid. Ovechkin, no, let me do it. Niskanen, no, I'll do it. That goes back and forth for a minute. Backstrom, what if you both do it? Ovechkin and Niskanen high five. Niskanen, should I do it after we get a lead or late in the game when we're about to win so we don't cost ourselves the game? Backstrom, nah, do it early when it's 0-0 and get yourself a major penalty and get yourself ejected too. Niskanen, I'm going to be honest, that doesn't make much sense. If they get a 5-minute power play, they get scored 3 times and Ovechkin breaks the stick over the locker. There's one hole in this genius plan. What? We'd have to play the final 50 minutes with only 5 defensemen. You know what that means. Ovechkin's eyes strain towards Brooke Orpik. Ovechkin gestures towards Orpik with his thumb. Backstrom nods and winks. Brooks Orpik, you guys know I can see you, right? Backstrom, so what do we do? Alex is right. There's simply no good way to kill Sid. I'm glad we used our post-game players only meeting to discuss this intentionally injuring Sid, though. This is really happening, but with playing with 5D, it would be too much for us to handle, so I guess we'll have to find another way. Barry Trotz kicks down the door and walks into the room with his arm around Carl Alsner. Did somebody say they needed an extra defenseman? The room roars in delight. Chance of we kill Sid fill the room.
Jesus Christ.
I thought that was super funny.
So the cop's going to go after Niskanen then?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
How many Pittsburgh fans are going to see that? And be like,
Not
Whoa,
funny,
this
man.
happened? What?
Totally not funny.
I mean, the amount of people I've seen on Twitter, just like, dude, like I'm in tears talking about Crosby. I'm like, what?
No.
Series isn't over.
No.
All right, so moving on.
Yeah.
The Predators have been looking unbelievable.
6-1.
6-1. They're 2-1 right now. In this series, how do you guys? I mean,
St. Louis was lucky to get that one. To be honest with you.
yeah, I know
They were lucky to get that one. Pecorine had a couple that he probably wants back in that game.
Yeah.
But Tarasenko,
I mean, you
finally,
can't stop him sometimes.
yeah, I mean, 2 nips.
Mm-hmm.
Nips. The last one I think that Rene should have had, but still.
Other than Rene playing well, they're D.
They're just, oh, God.
Ryan
D.
Ellis.
Ryan
Where did
Ellis.
Ryan Ellis come from?
I actually saw a clip earlier before the game, the pregame show. The World Juniors, when Eberle scored that late, I think it was tying her game winning goal.
Yeah.
Ryan Ellis actually was on that team and stopped the puck from going over the blue line. He kept the puck in and shot it down to Eberle, and I was like, holy fuck, that was Ryan Ellis? Jesus. But, I mean, he is tied right now with 5 other players in the playoffs with 8 points. 3 goals, 5 assists. Subban, 6 points, 1 goal, 5 assists. And Roman Josi, 5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists.
Crazy. Just crazy.
That's unbelievable offense from them.
Yeah.
And all 3 of those guys can throw their weight around.
Yeah.
And are just unbelievable defensively.
The best part about it is that they're not just doing it at one end of the ice, though.
Oh, God,
Exactly.
yeah.
They're killing it back in the defensive zone, too.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear what Mike Yeo said after the game 3? He goes,
Thanks for having us out. We'll
yeah, I know. Please don't do that again.
Yeah.
He said, fact of the matter is, for a large part of the game, we weren't even competitive. We have to make some changes personnel-wise for the next game. So, if that's not a wake-up call for the St. Louis Blues, like, if you were one of the guys that were like, I kind of had an off game, sorry, guys, and you see that, are you like, oh, God, I'm never going to play again. I'm never going to play again.
But I mean, looking at that team, they don't have much.
I feel they peaked way too soon in that Wild series. They showed up way.
I mean, other than Tarasenko, they don't have a real big time goal scorer, other than obviously Nail Yakupov. Clearly. Yeah, they're just a bunch of mucking grinders, and it's a different game now. It's hard to win a Stanley Cup with that type of team.
Unless you got like a Bob Probert on your team who can beat the shit out of you and then score a goal in the next 2 minutes.
Shea Weber? Is that what you said?
Bob Probert?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Shea Weber smashed Zetterberg's face in the glass and still
Sure, you are correct. That is true. Forgot
Didn't
about
even
that.
get a game.
I forgot that even happened.
At the same time, Shaw runs into
What a joke.
Smith and then gets, 3?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Nashville's looking great.
Yeah.
The other Western Conference series, Anaheim avoids going down 3-0 and makes it 2-1 against Edmonton last night.
First, let's talk Edmonton, that national anthem.
I was
Michael
just-
Song.
yeah.
Oh,
That's great.
God.
That was
That
awesome.
was great.
Did we tweet that out? Or
I think so.
Yeah. I love
God.
I love Canadians.
Yeah. It's like it's not even
ultimate
your
Canadian-
national anthem, and you guys they probably know it better than most Americans
That's
do.
exactly
like,
what I said when I tweeted it. Like on my personal account, I tweeted out and I go, "Wow, these Canadians know our national anthem better than most of the Americans do."
Yeah,
I'm like,
And the guy that was singing the national anthem, he didn't even have to do anything.
yeah.
no,
Like they knew that the mic was not working and they just went for it.
stepped up for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and it's funny too because like it's crazy how Canadians just during the American national anthem they'll stand up, they'll sing, they're quiet, and then
It happened in
sometimes
Toronto too.
yeah, and sometimes you hear like in games in America like people talking during the Canadian anthem or like kind of making
Being
noises
American.
or yeah, exactly.
I forgot
It's just crazy.
I forgot where I saw this comment, but it was. You could look at Canadians; they're all singing each national anthem. They're all having a good time. Then you look at American fans, and there's like fights in the parking lot, and they're like, sometimes Americans don't deserve hockey. Like,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
I also love how they keep showing the guy in the Dumb and Dumber suit.
Yes!
That is amazing.
He's
oh
great.
yeah, oh yeah, that's great.
So in this series, game 1, Anaheim was pretty bad at Edmonton.
Oh, yeah.
Edmonton was very good.
Oh yeah,
In game 2, Anaheim was great. Talbot was better.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cam Talbot single-handedly won that game. That
Yeah.
was an
Which-
unreal performance.
Good for him.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely good for
Especially in Anaheim.
Yeah.
One of the hardest places to win. Just ask Calgary.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Too soon.
And then game 3 was just a complete polar opposite from Cam Talbot.
Yeah.
He was so bad.
Anaheim looked.
And Edmonton wasn't much better. They
No,
weren't really helping
no.
him out all that much.
I think it might have been little jitters being in Edmonton for the second round.
Yeah.
And all those fans out in the mezzanine area watching on TVs,
Mm-hmm.
that really gets you upset. You know, they're paying $80 to watch it on TV. You really got to give them a show.
I real quick, super excited about that first goal that Anaheim scored. Ricard Raquel on that breakaway. Set play off the face-off.
Oh God.
It was Cogliano, I believe, that went right off the draw to the bench. It was, and this only works. Okay, preface. We do this on the Sandberg JV team, and we call it Rainbow Road. We've done this play before.
Little Mario Kart.
We've done it before, and it's never worked.
Yeah, it's
Probably because it's the
Sandberg
Sandberg
JV.
JV. Probably. But God, it's so much fun to do, and everybody on the bench just gets so like jacked up about it.
Especially that quick of a goal in a game.
Yeah. And the play only works if it's a draw in your offensive zone and your bench is closest
Right.
to you.
Closest to your
So it's like
defensive
in the first or the third period.
Right.
I'm sorry, in the defensive zone.
Right.
Cogliano goes straight to the bench. Ricard Raquel jumps off as soon as Cogliano gets it, and then the pass comes right up. Easy breakaway for
Which-
Raquel.
Getzlaff. Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Wow.
Gets off on that?
Saucy.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
Saucy.
Sign him up for the sauce tourney.
Yeah. Him and
Second
Carlson are coming
that
in.
one behind Carlson
Yeah.
against Boston. But that play, as soon as I saw that they were doing Rainbow Road, I got so
You
excited.
got a
And
little
they-
Rainbow Road in your pants.
Oh my God. I immediately texted my Sandberg coaches group chat, and like all of us at the same time were like, "Did they just do Rainbow Road? Did they just do Rainbow Road?
They're stealing our
that
plays."
was Rainbow Road." And then one of the guys was like, "No, I don't think they did a line change. Holy shit, they did a line change. That was Rainbow Road." So that was super exciting for me personally. Kessler versus McDavid.
It's great.
That's great.
Kessler, I think Kessler is one of the best matchups to shut down McDavid. He's doing a
Absolutely.
really great job. I mean, other than that McDavid goal that he had.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, that was a beaut.
Stop and go.
Yeah.
Who was that just went flying into next week?
I just watched the replay. And I
It was
can't
somebody.
think
It was
of
their first game back. It was Vatanen. Sammy Vatanen.
It was.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because it was
believe
his
it
first
was.
game back. Poor Vatanen.
And then just upstairs.
Yeah.
Just beaut.
I think Edmonton's going to end up taking game 4 though. They got the jitters out of the way. Cam Talbot's got to regain his composure a little bit.
Can I also
In
remind you,
Edmonton,
back to the McDavid goal? He's only 20 years old.
Yeah, well.
That's...
I'm going to throw up.
I'll be here if you guys need me.
Yeah.
So,
New York and Ottawa. This has got to be
you mean the Ottawa Pageos?
This is
God.
the weirdest series.
Pajot!
Honest to God, this is the strangest series.
Yeah.
Ottawa's the weirdest team. Let's
yeah.
just start with that.
Absolutely.
I didn't even think that they should be in the playoffs to begin with. On paper,
I thought they should.
on paper, they're
I thought
really
a
not
wild
that
card.
good of a high.
No, they are. I mean,
Yeah.
you got Bobby Ryan, Kyle Turris, Mike Hoffman, Eric Carlson, Craig Anderson.
Yeah, when they're all not hurt.
Yeah, they're not hurt.
I know, which is the crazy.
Well, I mean, Eric Carlson is, but he's
And
still a god.
Ryan left tonight.
Yeah. Bobby Ryan did get hurt tonight.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he left. But he walked off,
Yeah,
and it was an ankle thing. So it might be
As
just
long
a
as
little...
he's walking off,
yeah.
that's fine. Yeah.
Which, by the way, we were looking before you got here because you were super late and being a
Sorry.
jerk. Carlson only has 2 more years left on his contract.
I saw you text that to the group chat, and
And he's only 28.
He'll be 28
he'll be
at the end of the
28 when that's
contract.
I feel like
no
he's
way he
all,
leaves
I,
Ottawa though.
I feel like he's already 28 and he's going to be like 30 going into
Yeah.
his contract.
But, yeah, that's just a little...
No
awesome.
way he leaves Ottawa.
No, there's no way.
No.
Unless it's a big 180 between now and to what?
In 2 years.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. But, yeah, going back to the Senators. Pajot, have yourself a game, kid.
Only guy other than Joffrey Lupul for Anaheim in the 06 semis to get 4 goals, and one of those goals was the OT winner.
That's unreal.
That's crazy.
They were down 5-3 with 2:39 left. He scored to make it 5-4. Then he scores with 1:02 left to tie it 5-5, which was hilarious because he redirected it and immediately looked up at the netting behind above the glass because he thought it went up and over, and then he started throwing his arms up, looking around, and realized he scored. So that was hilarious and that was awesome. And then in double OT gets and that was his hat trick goal. Mm-hmm. And then double OT wins it for his 4th of the game
and it was a the typical Patrick Kane no look at the net.
Oh God, I love that play.
Oh yes. God, that was great.
Yeah, just good luck, Hank. Like,
well, this is another one of those series. Almost the same thing as Edmonton and Anaheim, where first game 2-1, both Anderson and Lundqvist were stupid.
Standing on their heads. Yeah,
stupid. Let's talk about staying with game 1. Carlson from behind the goal line, going off of the back of Lundqvist, and people are like,
God.
People are like, oh, why didn't Lundqvist save that? Ah, it's like, what?
Maybe it's
what?
He didn't even see
The question
Carlson
is not why
shoot.
why did he save it? It's how the hell did that get in?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's Eric Carlson.
Yeah,
that's how it got in.
stupid. And then game 2 is a shootout, 6-5. How did that go to 2 OTs, by the way? 5-5 after 3 periods, and it goes 2 overtimes.
Yeah, they wasted all the goals.
What you want to know how? Because there were 4 missed open nets, 3 by Ottawa.
Yeah.
And then tonight it was 4-1.
4-1. Yeah, another
New York.
another blowout. Well,
Yeah.
big scoring.
Brady Shea for New York.
Yeah,
This kid is awesome. He's just fun to watch. He's busting his ass, leading the rush one way, and then busting his butt backwards, breaking up a 2-on-1, and then going back again, starting another odd man rush and getting the goal. He had 2 goals. In the last game. He's got 4 in the playoffs. He had 5 total in the regular season. So he's just killing it right now in the playoffs. Just killing it.
Hey, sign me. I'm a playoff guy.
Yeah, I know. Also, Brady Shea, buddy, make it easier for us, man. SKJEI.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Help a brother out, man.
Yeah, we're not professionals here.
Yeah.
We have a rough time talking and reading.
All right, so we're game 4-ish.
Pretty much for everybody.
In most series,
Or, well, game 4 is tomorrow for Edmonton, I think.
Yeah. What do we got for conference finals picks?
Well, how about going into this series, who did you think was going to win? Or into this round for the Nashville series, Nashville-St. Louis.
Oh,
Who did you guys have?
I thought
Nashville all the way.
I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be another sweep.
I had St. Louis in 7.
You had St. Louis in 7.
Uh-huh.
I thought it just experience Nashville.
How do you feel about that now?
You know what? I honestly, after the Hawks series, I knew it was probably going to be wrong, but I just felt that they went so hard and so fast against the Hawks that they were just going to be out. They were just going to be dead.
Watching the first round, watching the Hawks in Nashville, I thought the Hawks were going to win until I actually started watching the first game, and I was like, okay. But, and then watching the St. Louis-Minnesota series, I was like, St. Louis will win this, but whoever comes out of Chicago-Nashville is going to just smoke St. Louis because they just aren't they aren't that great. I don't believe.
Although that's what we said with whoever came out of the Boston-Ottawa series. We thought they were going to get smoked by New York or Montreal. Whoever won that one, and Ottawa's killing it.
I didn't feel that way.
No, I felt it was only going to be Montreal. I felt if it was Montreal, it'd be different. If it was Montreal, I think it would be different. But with New York, I think. Well,
moving on to that series then. Okay. So we all feel.
I had the Rangers.
So, we all feel that Nashville is going to come out.
Oh,
now.
yes.
Yeah. Do you still feel that?
Oh, now? Yeah, I think Predators. Yeah.
You get to have a mulligan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, everybody gets one.
You were probably high when you made that statement or something. I don't know.
Okay, so Ottawa, New York. Who did you guys have going into this round?
New York.
I had New York.
Honestly, I had absolutely no freaking idea. Because it was like one day I was like, oh, dude, New York, like, Hank's on right now. Like, they're scoring. And then I'm like, well, Ottawa, Anderson's standing on his head. Like, Carlson's being Carlson. Like,
Bobby Ryan's lay off Bobby Ryan.
Back in Anaheim form, Bobby Ryan.
Oh, his over leg one and back again, and then back over leg one, and leg one didn't know where he was, and then
leg one came to Ottawa. And I was like, hey.
Remember the tweet that Bobby Ryan sent to him?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that was great.
But so going into this series, I literally was like, I don't know. I really hope Ottawa wins. Like, but I have no idea. This could go either way. And I mean, Ottawa's up 2-1. They're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Ottawa.
Yeah,
I had New York, but I think it's going to end up being Ottawa.
And that makes me really happy
that makes me really happy.
Yeah.
I like to see a Canadian team.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, Washington. Who'd you guys have?
Pittsburgh.
I had Pittsburgh.
I had Pittsburgh as well. Phil Pete,
all the way. Baby.
See, I want it for the Phil, but as a Blackhawk fan, it just would destroy me if they went back to back. It would destroy me because we didn't get to do that, even though we probably could have in 2014. Damn you, stupid bounce off of Nick Leddy. But
I mean, they kind of deserve to go back to back. Look, they built that team to run with the same team for 2-3 years.
I mean, what did I just say? I just said it hurts me.
I'm just saying though,
But if you think about it, it's kind of crazy because I mean, their core-ish was there in 2009 when they won, and they're still there in 17 when they won, or 16 when they won, and possibly when they get a third one in 17.
So that should make you
which
feel
is
better
crazy.
about the Hawks.
Because Hawks had 3 in a shorter amount of time than them. So
I had Edmonton coming out of the Anaheim.
So are we?
Are we both?
Are we all still saying Pittsburgh?
I'm sticking with Pittsburgh.
After Crosby and everything.
I'm sticking with Pittsburgh.
You know what? I don't even want to make a pick.
It could go either way,
It
but
could because I
have to say Pittsburgh, but I also want to say Pittsburgh.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. We all want that, though. Sorry, Dice.
Dice cannot have a free weekend.
Yeah.
I think that Game 3 could be a real turning point for Washington. I think
it could be.
That
not only because Crosby could be potentially out for God knows how long, and Sheary as well, but to go up 2-0, to lose that 2-0 lead
in 2 minutes.
In under 2 minutes. And then to come back and win it in overtime, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's a huge boost. Especially on the road, too.
Yeah.
In a must-win game.
Looking at the other end of it, I mean, you're like, oh, we were down 2-0, we lost Crosby and Sheary, and we came back in less than 2 minutes, scored 2 goals, and we just missed it in overtime.
If Trevor Daley doesn't take that penalty, I feel
there's more pressure. Yeah. There's even more pressure on Washington now with Crosby out. Now they're expected to step up and just run away, I think, with it. And
if they're stupid enough
going with them lately.
If they're stupid enough to go, oh, Sidney Crosby's out, let's just kind of
we can sit back.
Yeah, let's chill out for a little bit. Like, if they're stupid enough to do that, they don't deserve to move on.
I mean, they sat back a little bit against Toronto. And they went down 2-1.
The first 10 minutes of Game 4 is going to be the bar. That's going to tell you what's going to happen.
I want to see if there's any retribution, too, from Pittsburgh.
Oh, I mean,
I mean, they might be going after Niskanen. They might be going after Ovi.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to go with they have to go after somebody. I see
the whole series. The whole series has been old school hockey. So.
I could see Wilson being out there for a lot.
I want to see what goes on with Wilson and Malkin, because Wilson and Malkin were going at it all day yesterday. Anaheim and Edmonton. Who'd you all have?
Oilers.
Going into it,
I had Oilers.
I had Anaheim.
I had Edmonton.
And now now I have Edmonton, which I would say surprised, but at the same time not surprised. Like, I know that they have a great team. Like, they have a great lineup. Like, they have a lot of young guys. Obviously, McDavid and I can't think right now. Obviously, Draisaitl, yes, yeah. And obviously Adam Larson, the huge Taylor Hall guy. But I didn't expect them to do that well, especially after the first round, their first time in the playoffs. A lot of these young guys, but they look awesome. They look really good.
It's really weird because I'm still stuck in that like thought process of like
Edmonton getting first overall pick and
like Edmonton, like
they're
Anaheim versus Edmonton.
Yeah.
Of course, Anaheim's gonna beat the shit. Oh wait, Edmonton's good now.
Edmonton has Connor McDavid, so they're good now.
Oh yeah.
Why are we talking about Edmonton in May?
Yeah.
So yeah, I still have Edmonton coming out of that one.
Yeah, I do as well.
Could you imagine if we had an Edmonton Ottawa final? Zero Canadian teams last year.
Can I also say how weird Edmonton versus Nashville sounds for conference finals?
Which also, I don't know who I would want out of that series because Nashville, fuck Nashville.
That's right. You got a couple episodes of
I know. We can mull it over. Yeah. We can mull it over.
Yeah. So, yeah. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. Last week, we told you guys to send us questions. And that we would answer them, and
with the hashtag Riding Pine.
With the hashtag Riding Pine. So here is our inaugural Riding Pine.
You're riding the pine pony, pal.
Yeah.
Oh, so happy about that.
All right.
So happy about that.
All right. So first question ever for Riding Pine comes from @JoeMont08, which
shout out Joe Montagna, JV assistant coach and Coach of the Year for the HF Vikings. So.
Also, a little, hey, side note, thanks for following the personal account.
He was pretty excited about that.
So, yeah. There are three of us here, I don't know. But he actually had a good one. If you could change one rule in the current NHL, what would it be? Poets?
I don't know if I would change is the right word, but just clean it up. Goalie interference.
Goalie interference, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and we were like, "Oh, Poet's gonna say goalie interference."
Goalie interference. It's so stupid.
No, yeah, it's getting out of hand. I mean, we went into it last week last episode.
I feel like it can no longer be at the discretion of the official. That's got to be completely out of question. I feel like it has to go straight to Toronto at this point.
Well, in college, you can actually challenge penalties, but it's basically challenge between if it's a 2 or 4 or 5. But I mean, I don't know.
I wasn't even thinking about goalie interference penalties. I was thinking about like goalie
I got you.
Goals. Like that's a great point too.
But yeah, I mean that as well. But yeah, if they went straight to Toronto, that wouldn't be too bad.
No,
I mean it would pause the game a little bit longer. But yeah,
especially in these playoffs this year more than anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, saying it's going to pause the game more. I mean, last night they had Washington. They call it no goal. They reviewed it, called no goal. Or I mean, it was a goal. They called it a goal, and then
they went to challenge to see if it would enter the net legally, and then after that decision was made, Washington had the option.
I thought that was so stupid.
Yeah, what's the point of looking at it to see if it went legally if you're just going to challenge it and say goalie interference anyway?
No, what they want to wouldn't you rather want to know if it's even going to be a legit goal, like if it wasn't kicked in or anything like that, or the net was off?
Well, you should just look at everything all at once.
But that's what they're saying, though, because if sometimes it might be a straight, it might not make sense to use your coach's challenge at that point.
But this is it's a 1-0 hockey game.
I'm not saying that's the
Washington's down 2-0 in the series. Like if they don't challenge that, which would be stupid,
they got to give them the option. That's all. That's all it is.
Could you imagine being that referee though? That was just like.
That's a good
that
goal.
Was totally goalie interference.
Well, that's why
you guys didn't ask me.
Yeah.
To like,
so you guys asking?
But that's why you kind of heard the ref like kind of explaining the first one. Like he was like, we looked at this, blah blah blah, and it's a good goal.
Yeah.
And then he was like, okay, now Washington is challenging on the goaltender interference. Like it went into a little bit more detail than usual. I mean that makes sense.
All right, what did you have, Jarom?
I have one that I would get rid of and one I would kind of want them to work on. I want them to get rid of the trapezoid.
I was going to say trapezoid, too.
Yeah.
They want to create more goal scoring, but then they limit the goalies from going out and playing the puck.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's so many chances.
Marty Brodeur,
yeah. Plus, but there's so many, like, opportunities. Yeah, well, there's so many opportunities where a goalie can go in the corner, grab the puck, and in mid-change, sauce it to the far blue, and a guy can get a breakaway, or come out, try and play the puck, and mishandle it, and then some guy can come through on the other opposing team and score.
Oh, this probably isn't a good argument, but look at Mike Smith in the All-Star competition.
Exactly.
Him just setting that puck down.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be almost... It's really hard.
That was sick.
Yeah, that's
that was amazing.
That's just stupid.
That was amazing.
But yeah, that was one of mine, too.
Yeah, the other one I had that I want them to adjust is I want them to get their shit together with this coach's challenge.
Yeah.
I think that concept is right, but I just think that they just jumped into it without having a good idea of what they want to do with it.
Yeah, they just kind of like, oh, let's try it. All right, it's working.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like, they need to start in the A, let the A do a couple test runs with it.
Maybe not even the A, like, do it maybe in, like, the USA Challenge or something.
Or something, yeah. But, I mean, it just seems like a broken system.
Yeah. My other one that I think, which I feel is starting to go more towards it, is 3-on-3. Just no shootout.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Just 3-on-3.
God, yeah.
Would you rather have it start out 4-on-4?
No, I say 3-on-3. I mean, there's been...
so just
you
like
don't...
a continuous 3-on-3?
I say... No. I say 5-minute 3-on-3, and then just switch sides, 5-minute 3-on-3, and just kind of do that back and forth.
I say
or say 10-minute 3-on-3.
And then switch.
And then
because
switch.
you know what? Most of these teams are only using the same group of players.
Yeah.
At that point,
they're going to get so... But I'm saying, though, it's at probably like the 10... Even in the 10, like the 6-minute mark, maybe.
Yeah.
These players are just... It's going to get to the point where it's going to be a dumb mistake.
But there's going to end up being a point where the entire 10 minutes is going to get played out. At that point, you got to bring the Zam out. Because that ice, after 20 minutes in the third period and then an extra 10 in overtime, that ice is going to get ripped to shreds.
Yeah, but how many games 3-on-3 are going to go all the way 10 minutes?
Oh, I know. But you know there's going to end up being one.
At least one
or two.
Yeah.
And that's going to be kind of an inconvenience.
And
to have to bring out a
Hey, man, we used to play no Zamboni the whole game. Yeah.
It's true.
So.
It's true.
I just thought of another one.
Squirts,
if we did 3-on-3, is adjust the point total a little bit.
Yes. 3-point system.
Yes.
100%. They do
That's
it.
a great point.
Yeah, they have to do it. Yeah, nice. It's a 3-point point.
This whole point for losing kind of thing. Like, it needs to be.
Yeah, because if it goes to overtime, then it's 3 points. But if it stays in regulation, it's only worth 2 points. Like, they need to make it every game's worth 3 points.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do that in all international play, and it works out really well.
So wait, is it 3 points for regulation win, 2 points if you OT win?
Yes.
And then 1 point of a shootout win? Or is it just 1 point for the...
No, if it's 3 points if you win in regulation, 0 for the loser. If it goes shootout or overtime, the winner gets 2 and the loser gets 1.
Okay.
So...
I think they need to have more incentive to win it.
Or if they keep the shootout, do you change it to Olympic rules where it's 3 go, and then after that, anybody can go.
I would like that too. If they stick with the shootout, I'd rather
if they stick to the shootout. Oshie can just be Oshie.
I don't want to sit there and sit through the entire roster just.
It is kind of fun to see like a random defenseman go out there though every once in a while. But
I mean, the whole point of the shootout was to make this big ordeal
with
it, and put the players that are going to make it look fun to watch.
All right, moving on to the next question from our boy Ross out in the Windy City. Well, no,
David Ross, the World Series, World Series champ. We're getting big, guys.
World Series champ? You mean fucking celebrity dancing
with the stars, killing it.
Our boy Ross, big defenseman on the
Goalbusters.
Yeah. The game is getting so fast now. Do you think we will ever see a clutch and grab style again?
No, I don't. Especially since, like we just said, the NHL wants to start getting more scoring and this, that, and the other thing.
Plus, the kids grow up now. Like, growing up now, like, watching games in the past, it's like, how did they get away with that? And now, like, you see little things and you're like, oh, that should be a penalty. Like, there's...
Like that tiny little hook in the Pittsburgh game.
Yes. Yeah. Any tiny little thing, everybody knows, like, it's a hook now. And everybody's just growing up to... see the game how it is now and the fast-paced,
they're teaching the game all about speed and all that because they changed the rules in USA about checking. You can't check until you're a Bantam.
Yeah, which is
what is Bantam considered now? Like 13?
14, 13,
Yeah. 15, actually. I think 14, 15, isn't it?
No.
I don't know. I just remember going to
13, 14.
Okay.
Going to Silver Six in Canada and playing
they
a
were
Canadian
all
team.
they were all checking.
And I was 10 years old. And these 6 foot Canadians come out, ripping slap shots and throwing the body.
They beat us down to the ground. Like they pummeled us.
23.
When we went to Silver Stick, they were also 18 and we were 15.
Oh my god, I forgot they were that old.
Yeah, they cheated. But whatever,
They did cheat.
Not salty or anything. We won Nihil that year.
That was a bad game too.
Coach L, what up?
So I think that's good. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for the questions and thanks
Keep
for
them
listening.
coming too,
yeah,
guys. Keep them
absolutely.
coming.
We need more for the more shows we have, and something we forgot to talk a bit about last episode. We are going to try and make 2 episodes every week, and our original thought was going to be Mondays and Fridays, but we think we're going to try and push it to Tuesdays and Fridays. If we're still working on our schedules to make it possible,
Right.
so
The end goal is 2 episodes a week.
definitely 2 episodes a week,
yeah.
but it might be different days every week, but definitely 2 out a week.
Sometimes maybe the first month or so, until we truly get a good schedule down, we might have one a week, but it'll only be maybe
We'll definitely have
an
episode.
There will be some sort of content coming out your way every week.
You keep listening, we'll keep making them.
Nice. I just watched that yesterday.
Nice, good for you.
Good.
And Batman, huh? Wow, what a day.
It was a good day.
What a day.
It was a real good day yesterday.
All right, but hopefully this was a better one for you.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks
for listening, guys.
tuning in here, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you next podcast.
Yep.
Follow the guys on Twitter at WCBP, on Instagram, WCBPodcast, and like them on Facebook, the Windy City Benders Podcast. The Windy City Benders Podcast.